Mugen versus Rob himself. We are going to switch the good old cams around. There we go. Now we are completely ready to go here in losers semi-final. Both these players have survived all day, and it's very... Yeah. Please. All right. Sorry about that. Got to get the few venue notes fixed. Having to make sure everybody can actually watch the action. For the Twitch viewers, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but here on the venue, we have to put a projector up every single time. But in the meantime, when we wait on Akamos, these players aren't going to wait any longer. We, again, are in best of fives for the rest of the night, and Akamos rejoins me on what should be a very close best of five.
We saw a very close best of three. I mean, it was a 2-0, but it was one of those 2-0s where it's like, if that was a best of five, that's probably going 5.
And remind me, who did win that?
Rob Slayer.
Okay, so Rob Slayer. I mean, trying to defend against the revenge game of Mugen. And so far, it's looking pretty decent for Mugen.
Let's see if we get my... I'm gonna swap the teams, because I guess it probably is better that they match them.
Oh, you mean matching the faces instead of the names?
No,
I already switched it.
No, we'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it. This is good.
Well, in the meantime, a stock goes down, and Rob...
It sure does. And it goes the same direction as the last set went. Between these two, Rob Slayer, of course, won that one.
I mean, I'll ask you this, since we have a long series ahead of us here, Will. I mean, you're a player. When you have to try and play upset watch, or I guess not upset watch in this scenario, but specifically when you have somebody knock you down in uppers, and you come back to play them down the road, what are you looking at? What adjustments do you normally make? Like, what are you focusing on for the second matchup?
That's really interesting, because that's only happened to me a couple of times. Usually, it is, like, it's stuff that you've been thinking about since the last set. You don't stop thinking about it.
So is it more your mistakes, or is it their play style? That's what I'm really curious.
It heavily depends on who you're playing. If it's a player like Rob Slayer, it's usually going to be your opponent's play style. If you get upset when you really shouldn't have lost, it's probably, I messed up. Let me lock in. But so for Mugen, I think it's probably more here about controlling the pace. That's what I would have to guess it is. Because if you're able to control when you interact, then you will be, in control, obviously.
Oh wait, wow. Gyro from the top ropes.
But yeah, no, this is a matchup where whichever one of them manages to seize control of the tempo, seize the reins, so to speak, will have a much easier time. And usually, Rob is a little bit more likely to do that. I almost said Cola. Sorry, Roy. I just said Cola instead of Roy.
It's been a long night, a long day.
Usually Roy is a little more able to make the magic happen in terms of explosive, like, single hits, but Rob is able to control the longer strings a lot better.
I do want to give some clarification that Mr. Akamos here has clocked in a, 13-hour shift here at Memorial
13-hour shift. That is
And it's
correct.
only going to probably go to 14 as well, based on the fact we still have losers finals and grand.
Oh, and I'll be here after the tournament ends, too.
Yep.
I'm going to be the last person out of the building, most likely.
Luckily, our team is hopefully deconstructing all the setups. That way we can get out of here relatively early. So it looks like we should be good to go when it's all said and done. But in the meantime, let's focus on what's at hand here. Game 1, last stock. You talked about Mugen having to control the pace. He struggled to do that this game, and you can tell because Rob Slayer looks comfortable and almost gets a soul read there.
Oh, wow.
Gets it anyways.
Instead of the down tilt trains, he catches out Mugen wanting to jump away from the down tilt trains, dashes back, and gets the laser there. That was so smart. Now here's a down throw. Up throw. Does that kill? It does.
Nice.
I can never predict what throw he's going to use. This is a problem. I should have seen that he was under the platform. Obviously it's up throw.
Neither can Mugen, though. He's also struggling to DI his way out of that, and I don't even know if it would have been very possible to DI your way out of that, given that platform being right there. But regardless, a very nice start for Rob Slayer, and I would imagine that things are leaning the way they were in uppers. We could potentially see a 3-1.
Entirely possible.
I would be shocked to see a sweep, though.
I'll agree with that. I was about to say that same thing.
Well, here we go. What in the world does Mugen cook up to get back into this game, or will it be the end of the night for him?
If he's out at 4th, that is a successful shift as far as I'm concerned. I consider myself mostly mostly lucky to have even made 25th. And I was seeded for 17th, but you know, we take this, whatever. Not important. Me. Anyways.
I mean, at an event like this, though, it is a fair point to bring up that, yes, these two players have made or outperformed their seeding as we're here in the top 4.
Yep.
And Rob Slayer is really on a tear here. I mean,
Yeah,
look
Rob
at the
Slayer-
rankings.
Sure, Rob Slayer's outperformed his, and Mugen hasn't outperformed his yet, but that does not mean that Rob Slayer is satisfied if that first game is anything to go by. In fact, it means Rob Slayer's probably hungry for more of that same feeling.
At least this time, it's a much even start for Mugen.
I was about to say down throw again, and I would have been wrong again. I can't guess these.
I mean, Rob Slayer's just playing a different game, and he gets the
What
read
an up
there
air.
as
Yeah,
well.
that was great DI too, but there was just no escaping that one.
And it won't matter.
See, that's Mugen's a lot more willing to just run off and forward air sometimes, and that's not that. Don't misunderstand that as me saying Cole is not willing to just swing sometimes. 100% he is, but you know, Mugen's going for a lot more of those run-off. I suppose drop zone is the terminology. Drop zone forward airs.
All right, well, let's continue to see what is the game plan for Mugen. He's done a lot better of a job at making things even from the start here, but in the long game, I think many of the people here in the venue would choose Rob Slayer because of how I think his combos are more consistent overall, at least in what I've seen so far.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. Oh, that would have been dangerous, but Rob Slayer, directional air, I'll just right past it. That's not going to do it yet.
Decent amount of damage, though. You take what you can get, that's for certain. Mugen does have a chance here, but now here comes the
train
push, and the train doesn't hit the station just yet, but it's a lot of damage regardless.
And that up smash will scoop from either side, so that's a smart out of shield option. Didn't matter if it crossed up or didn't. That's a stock either way.
So here we go. Rob Slayer, one more stock away from going up 2-0 and winning 4 games straight on Mugen, which is going to be
That's
something.
a feat. That is a
you
feat.
will look back at that in this tournament and say, okay, like, we see you, Rob Slayer, but he's got to earn it here. He drags the controller out trying to get his cable right. A full reset, physically and mentally, while he gets that slight half second to reset. Let's try to use it, and so far he will do that. That's a very nice 90%, almost finds the read as well. And it's getting feisty here. 100% to 0, and you need Mugen to find something quick if you're rooting for him. And here comes the gyro in the hands as well. Could be dangerous and won't be found in any sort of interaction, and it will at least force Mugen to rotate across, but it's still very dire for him.
Oh man, he's swinging. Rob Slayer thought that was the game. You see him?
It's
relax,
close though.
relax for a second.
Maybe it won't even matter.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Spike won't land as well. Reed won't land as well.
I was about to go update the game count, but it looks like the result is going to stay the same.
No tech, no tech. 2-0 for Rob Slayer here. Looking at a top 3.
That is that would be the case. I have nothing to add to that. That is true.
I'll add to it for myself then.
You got it.
It's impressive long term how Smash players specifically can survive and be consistent and not get to warm up in the meantime, or at least somewhat warm up in the meantime off stage, and then just show up and ball out. It's very impressive what the fighting game community does at events like this. And again, here in Athens, almost every single player left in this tournament, other than Didi, I think, are travelers, are invaders.
Yeah.
So it's even more impressive. They still got a long night ahead of them.
There were exactly 2 Athens players in top 16 and 1 in top 8.
And now there's just one more left in the top 4. So again, a lot of respect to what these players can do at this level and do it consistently time and time again. But also for Mugen, this is pretty big. You've lost 4 games straight to Rob Slayer, and no major strategical changes have really come out. Oh my.
That is a stock. Wow, what a find. Mugen kind of just gonna have to concede that one. Bit of a nod.
It's a good start for Rob Slayer. I mean, it's exactly what you'd want to see. Is only at 80%. Is going to get a decent amount of damage. This is very bad as well, and goes for a slight read, and the spike comes through!
I thought,
Wow. Yep, English is a tough language, and this
It looked like he was over the stage, but I guess his hurt box was still off a little bit.
I mean, English is hard for us, but also Smash is even harder to understand at this level, and Rob
at this
Slayer,
speed, I mean,
Rob Slayer is on the verge of doing something pretty spectacular. 5 straight on Mugen here if he can just find one more stock, but it'll have to hold off as one goes away.
yeah, but you still got 2 more to get this one done. Actually, really, it's half a stock. And it is. It's a 3-0 sweep for Rob Slayer.
Top 3 for Rob Slayer.
Well, it looks like Rob Slayer's going to be staying right there.
Yeah, he will not be moving.